So this is Cecil King Remap Part 2. Alright, people, in this one, I'm making this particular video so you can be the judge. So yesterday when y'all already got the story on the other video. I ain't even got to talk about that. Watch the video after this. So remember I spoke about Paulette, aka P, that her family set up Al from cassava piece to be killed by the police. So this is also part of that story because this linked to that family. So in that story about P setting up Al to kill, giving it some thought since it's been years when I was a kid, it probably was more like in 1992. It probably was more like in 1992 that Al was killed. I don't even think it's 93. It could be like more 91 to 92. So anyway, it was Paulette and her family that set up Al to kill. Paulette has a brother that named Bentley Lloyd Ferguson. Lloyd got with my mother and thought that I was his child. But who knows who my mama had messed around with before him or why she was with him. So because of that, Lloyd found out when I was age 23 that I wasn't his son. I was in a devastated state. That's how they get to use this. All this story comes back to them trying to make me look like a schizophrenic or schizophrenic. So apparently, when I was talking to Cecil King yesterday, he explained to me that Lloyd, Paulette brother, had called him back in, I believe, 2002 or 2003. I think it was 2002 or it was 2003. Yeah, called him back in 2003 and told him that I was trying to fight him and he want to get me locked up with the police. But that day, what happened with me and Lloyd was talking all kind of crap after the DNA test. And he's the one that tried to start argument with me, and I tell him, bro, I ain't scared of you. Yeah, because when I'm a matter of fact, before I even go there, when I was, I believe, 16 or 17 years old, I think I was 17 years old, he was holding my mom. My mom was trying to get away from him because they never get along. They was always fighting. She even have to pull a knife on him to protect herself from him because he want to beat her up in the kitchen one day. That's Lloyd Bentley Ferguson. That Paulette brother. The same one that killed Hal. So, my mom ended up moved out, but he didn't want to give her passport so she could go to where she want to go. I stayed there with him because I was still in high school and the school was in my district. So I stayed there with him. But so she ended up moved out anyway, but I had to got in his briefcase. His briefcase was on default. The code was 000. The default briefcase code, the one the factory setting. So I took the passport out and I gave it to my mom. So he came in my room and he tried to fight me when I was 17 years old. because he's mad that I gave my mom her passport to go about her business. And he had they I had like two speaker. He gave me two speaker box when I first came to America, and the speaker box was probably about 4 inches, 4 feet tall, and probably about 2 feet wide. And then there was a old school stereo, one of those big heavy ones. And he pick up he pick up the two speakers, and he tried to throw it at me. He put it over his head and tried to throw it at me. And I used to watch a lot of karate movies when I first came to America, even back in Jamaica, because back in the 80s, that's all we did was watch karate movies. So when he picked up the speaker box and tried to hit me with it, he put it over his head like Hulk and tried to throw it at me. I just I don't even know I could do these kind of stuff because I ain't even practiced karate. But I found myself kicking it out of his hand like Bruce Lee, right over his head. It was while he have it in his hand over his head. I can kick it out of his hand before he could get the chance to throw it. Twice he picked up both speaker box and did that, and I kicked both of them out of his hand. Then he picked up the stereo and he tried to throw it at me the same way, and I kicked it out of his hand. I even felt proud of myself. See that smile on my face? That's because that's the first time I ever had to defend myself from a grown man, right? And I did it well. So when he realized he didn't do nothing with the speakers or the stereo to hit me or knock me out or kill me, he decided he's gonna call the police. So he go and he called the police, and when the police come, they told him, like, they told us that if we does not keep it down, he's gonna take both of us to jail. Homeboy started shaking his pants, right? That's Lyde Bentley Ferguson started shaking his pants. Never tried nothing again after that. See what I'm saying? Trying to fight a 17-year-old kid, right? And then go be shaking when the cops come. A punk. So anyway, it happens to be where I end up moved out of his house and go live with my mom. So years later, all this time I still thought he was my father because I grew up in that family, so I still thought this man was my father. So anyway, I moved out of his house. So that's what lead up to him calling Cecil King and try to lie to Cecil King after the DNA test that I'm trying to fight him when he was the one that tried to set me up to hit him so that he could set me up to go to jail. But I never fought for it. Cause when he said when I told him like he was arguing me in that house in 2003, I told him like, yo, you think I'm scared of you? And he's like, go ahead and hit me. So I could call the police on you. That's when I realized what he was trying to do. He was trying to get me locked up. So anyway, I'm working at Pappadeaux. I was getting employee of the month every month. My clothes was so clean and fresh, right? And even one at the time, the kitchen manager, the general manager, David Gonzalez, pulled me out in front of all the rest of the cooks and everybody and say and pine on me and say, look at him. His beard is shaved. His facial. Those time I didn't have facial hair. I actually have shave clean and shave head just like my bald head today, right? And he pined at me on my clothes. Back them days we used to wear white chef shirts, and he said, look at his chef shirts. It's all white. And then he pined at the rest of the cooks where their chef shirts was like brownish white because they didn't use bleach in their water. We grew up in Jamaica, so we know to wash our clothes properly. Even though we never have washing machine, we used to wash our clothes by hand. But when I came to America, we started to put that same bleach in the washing machine to wash our whites. Like, duh. So anyway, it comes down to Cecil King somehow started to help these suckers. See, Cecil King was supposed to be my friend, but he was a friend of that family before. As a matter of fact, he's tight friend with one of the family member called Jimmy Dawson. Yeah, I'm calling them out because there's some evil people that went out their way to try to destroy my life. For what reason? Because they mad. And you know what? They ain't even got no reason to be mad. And you know why? Because they in that family, almost everybody, I would say 90% of that family is sexually active since they was young and do some stuff with many different people. That's all I can say about that because this stuff is censored. And even I ain't even gonna go on those level. I'm gonna talk about me. Sorry, but anyway, so apparently Cecil King somehow got involved because remember when I told you guys he had came to Pappadeaux when I was working, and he haven't seen me in a couple months because I used to go visit Cecil King every week or every weekend. Me and one of his brother-in-law used to go. I used to go visit him every weekend because he was like a father to me in a way, like a big brother. Let's put it that way, like a big brother, right? So I trust in him. So when Cecil King didn't see me for a long time, he had came to Pappadeaux. At that time, I had child support to pay, so I was working my ass off because I was giving my baby mama back in 2002. I was giving her $200 to buy grocery, plus I was giving her anything she need for to back up her rent. And even she scammed me because she was on Section 8 and I didn't know. And she told me her rent was $500. So I was giving her an extra $250 just to help cover the off of the rent for her because she was working at Luby's. And she claimed she couldn't cover her rent. But every time I showed up to her house to pick my kid up like once a month or maybe twice a month, she would have some new form of big screen TV or something, and she would tell me, "Oh, she get it from those boys in the hood of discount price." She was lying. How do I know she was lying? One time she and one of her girlfriend got in a squabble, and her girlfriend called my phone, and her girlfriend tell me that she, like my baby mama was running her down with a knife, trying to get her, and her girlfriend told me that my baby mama was only paying $65 to $69 somewhere along that line in rent, but I was giving this effort up to $250 every month, plus my child support. That money that I could have used for something, but that when you're a young man growing up and you're trying your best, sometimes you get used by a woman that you have trust in, you know. So anyway, somehow Cecil King got wrapped up in this mess, something that he shouldn't have done in the first place. And he's the one that introduced me. I went to him for help because I was going through a mental depression for like literally all that stuff, all that drama, all that madness. I was breaking down. My baby mama was already keeping me from my child, and I wasn't able to see my child as much. And then she was dating a different man like every 3 months, so part of me wanted to be back with her. So that hurt, I'm the real, it hurts. And it comes down to where I went to Cecil King for help, and that's how, because he worked for the state of Texas, or the city of San Antonio, he introduced me to his people, and they try to put me, they bring me to their psychiatrist and all this kind of stuff, and that's how they label me as a schizophrenia. You know what I'm saying? Based on some of the stuff I was telling them, But basically, they label me as a schizophrenia because I tell them I see duppy. For Jamaicans, we know duppy in America. That's ghost, right? I saw it, but what it was, I was sleeping, and when I wake up, well, this could have been all been a dream, right? Because I could have never even woke up. I could have dreamed that I woke up, and I looked but by my door, and it was open, and there was the ice demon, the Madalusa, the Madalusa, but she was in the ice version, right? And it scared the heck out of me, and I was just in a state of fear, and I closed the door in her face because she was walking towards me, and then I go and cover up under the sheet, but then I woke up back, and then I realized, okay, I'm safe. So that all could have been a dream. That's what they used to label me as a schizophrenia, right? So anyway, so this is I'm gonna try to get to the bottom of all this stuff as much as I can. But this is Cecil King Remap Part 2 for now.